So, for the first time in a long period, conversations between representatives of Ukraine and Russia have begun to include signals about a possible meeting between the two countries' leaders, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said. Zelensky emphasized that Ukrainians need the war to end, and in his view, that process begins with a meeting between the leaders. There's no other way with Russians. We need an agenda for such a meeting at the level of leaders. The issue is that we always raise this topic publicly. And now, in their conversations with us, they've started talking about it. That's already a step towards some kind of meeting format, the Ukrainian president explained.
Как докладывают, там на дороге подбито 2 единицы нашей армии, не нашего подразделения. Не понимаю, что происходит. Станция короткая, мы должны видеть. Надо выяснить все. Проскочим лесами, хуй его знает. Я еду за буханкой, на буханке рэп. Иду к ним, если что, подскакивать. Если меня въебет, как в том ролике, и меня разорвет на куски, оказывается, разрешаю. Ух, смачно будет. Ох ты, блядь! Ох ты, блядь! Целый! Здесь! Цел! Вообще похуй. Поехали? Да. Ох ты, блядь! Ох ты, блядь! Целый! Здесь! Цел! Вообще похуй. Поехали? Да. Ух, красиво въебал, да? Ехай, ну! Целый! Вот так вот, чуть не сдох.
One of the commanders of the 155th Russian Marine Brigade orders the execution of his own wounded. According to a radio intercept published by the main intelligence directorate of the Ministry of Defense, the commander of one of the units of the Marine Corps Brigade of the Russian Pacific Fleet ordered the execution of at least one of his own wounded soldiers. Shoot him the fuck out of him. There are no sick people in the Marine Corps. There are the living and there are the dead. He has no other options. I order you to shoot him if he doesn't go any further, the occupier says on the audio. As noted by the HUR, killing one's own fighters is a common practice of motivation among the commanders of the army of the aggressor state. The threat of execution is the only way by which Russian commanders force personnel to carry out combat missions. The 155th Marine Brigade of the Russian Federation is known for committing war crimes during the occupation of the Kiev region, as well as in other areas of the front. Recently, GUR specialists recorded another war crime by this brigade, an order to kill and behead Ukrainian prisoners of war. As reported, As a result of the strike on the command post in the village of Koronevo, in the Kursk region of the Russian Federation, at least 10 senior Russian officers were killed. Among those killed were the commander of the 155th Separate Guards Order of Zhukov Marine Brigade, Colonel Ilyin Sergei, as well as the Chief of Staff of the 155th Brigade, Colonel Leonid Bashkadin. Alongside the heads of services, most of their assistants were also killed. Total casualties amounted to approximately 20 killed and 30 wounded servicemen of the Russian armed forces. So the headquarters of the Russian Marine Brigade and the leadership of the strike group and naval infantry ground forces were completely eliminated, paralyzing the Russian offensive in this direction of the front for some time. Command and control of troops in the area was lost. Interestingly, this is not the first time Gudkov has directed Ukrainian missiles at his own headquarters. On February the 27th, 2024, Gudkov organized a formation of servicemen from the 155th Brigade in the village of Olenivka, Donetsk region, to personally award his best fighters and commanders. 2 HIMARS rockets struck the parade ground, killing 19 Russian occupiers and wounding 12. Gudkov himself was among the wounded, but survived. The deputy commander of the 155th Brigade, Lieutenant Colonel R. Gozukov, along with other brigade officers, was killed. And now all the criminal commanders have been taken out in one salvo. The 42-year-old Gudkov was personally appointed to this position by the Russian dictator Vladimir Putin in March 2025.
Ukraine has received the first batch of US-made Patriot air defense systems days after President Donald Trump's announcement of a new military aid package worth $10 billion to Kiev, Telegraph publication reported on Friday. According to the report, thanks to US agreement with Germany, the Patriot anti-aircraft missile system and other interceptor missiles arrived in Ukraine by the end of last week. The Pentagon and the White House used the move to try to persuade European countries to take a risk by sending their existing stockpiles to Kyiv. However, for some countries, this is a difficult task, given that their Patriot missiles will not be replaced until early next year. Earlier this week, Germany announced an agreement with Washington to transfer 5 more batteries to Ukraine. Berlin will provide funds for 2 systems, while Norway has promised to pay for a third. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said that Kyiv currently has agreements on 3 Patriot air defense systems out of the 10 needed. However, missiles, drones, electronic warfare systems and stable funding for the army are also needed. Zelensky recalled that US leader Donald Trump agreed to transfer the systems to Ukraine.